Good morning. Welcome back to the Southern Bible Thumper channel. For this upload, we will be reading Deuteronomy chapter 32. Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. Because I will publish the name of the Lord, ascribe ye greatness unto our God. He is the rock, his work is perfect, for all his ways are judgment, a God of truth and without iniquity, just and right is he. They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children. They are a perverse and crooked generation. Do ye thus requite the Lord, O foolish people and unwise? Is not he thy father that hath brought thee? Hath he not made thee and established thee? Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will shew thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found him in a desert land, and in the waste, howling wilderness. He led him about, he instructed him, he kept him as the apple of his eye. As an eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttereth over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her wings, so the Lord alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with him. He made him ride on the high places of the earth, that he might eat the increase of the fields, and he made him to suck honey out of the rock, and oil out of the flinty rock, butter of kine, and milk of sheep, with fat of lambs, and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats, with the fat of kidneys of wheat, and thou didst drink the pure blood of the grape. But Jeshurun waxed fat, and kicked. Thou art waxen fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils, not to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten God that formed thee. And when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them, because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be, for they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faith. They have moved me to jealousy, which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities. And I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. For a fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. I will heap mischiefs upon them. I will spin mine arrows upon them. They shall be burnt with hunger, and devoured with burning heat, and with bitter destruction. I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them, with the poison of serpents of the dust. The sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin, the suckling also with the man of gray hairs. I said, I would scatter them into corners. I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men, were it not that I feared the wrath of the enemy, lest their adversaries should behave themselves strangely, and lest they should say, Our hand is high, and the Lord hath not done all this, for they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end. How should one chase 1,000, and two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock had sold them, and the Lord had shut them up? For their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. For their vine is of the vine of Sodom, and of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of gall, their clusters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of dragons and the cruel venom of asps. Is not this laid up in store with me, and sealed up among my treasures? To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the thing that shall come upon them make haste. For the Lord shall judge his people, and repent himself for his servants, when he seeth that their power is gone, and there is none shut up or left. And he shall say, where are their gods, their rock in whom they trusted, which did eat the fat of their sacrifices and drank the wine of their peace, their drink offerings? Let them rise up and help you and be your protection. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven and I say, I live forever. If I whet my glittering sword, and mine hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to mine enemies, and will reward them that hate me. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain, and of the captives from the beginning of revenges upon the enemy. Rejoice, O ye nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, and will render vengeance to his adversaries, and will be merciful unto his land and to his people. And Moses came and spake all the words of this song in the ears of the people, he and Hosea the son of Nun. And Moses made an end of speaking all these words to all Israel. And he said unto them, set your hearts into all the words which I testify among you this day, which ye shall command your children to observe to do all the words of this law. For it is not a vain thing for you, because it is your life, and through this thing ye shall prolong your days in the land, whither ye go over Jordan to possess it. And the Lord spake unto Moses that selfsame day, saying, get thee up into this mountain Abiram, unto Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, that is over against Jericho, and behold the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel for a possession. And die in the mount whither thou goest up, and be gathered unto thy people. As Aaron thy brother died on Mount Hor, he was gathered unto his people. Because he trespassed against me among the children of Israel at the waters of Meribah Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin, because he sanctified me not in the midst of the children of Israel. Yet thou shalt see the land before thee, but thou shalt not go thither unto the land which I give the children of Israel. Summarizing Deuteronomy chapter 32. There's one thing that I wanted to point out. In this entire book of Deuteronomy, God doesn't speak at all until we get to chapter 31, verses 14 and verses 16. God spoke to Moses. We also see God speaking again to Moses in chapter 32, verse 48, and chapter 34, verse 4. What's happening in this chapter, Deuteronomy chapter 32? Moses is continuing his extended farewell address to the second generation of Israel out of Egypt. Moses has spent Deuteronomy summarizing the events and commands of Israel in Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers. This audience, Israel, this is the children of the Israelites that left Egypt with Moses. In Deuteronomy chapter 31, God tells Moses that it's time for him to die, and Israel will disobey his commands anyway. At the end of 31, Moses writes a song, and the last sentence, he begins reciting the song to Israel. I thought about summarizing this, but this is a poem, and with people's art, I kind of have this thing where even though I like to pick apart and analyze a song someone will write, especially rappers, because rappers tend to have such a different experience of the world and use of language than I have. So it's interesting to see the kinds of things that they say. But just because I pick apart their lyrics doesn't mean that I really understand what it means. It's something that you only have to ask the person. Only the person that writes it can tell you what it means. I honestly thought that was a beautiful song, but I could see myself forgetting some of those words, most of those words. So this song, Deuteronomy 31, chapter 26, is serving as a witness or evidence against Israel that they will disobey God in the future. Verses 44 through 47, Moses says all of this in front of Joshua and Israel. He tells Israel to live by these words in the new land in Canaan, that these words that Moses just told them, they're not meaningless. 48 through 52, God tells Moses to go up the Mount Nebo to view Canaan. He tells Moses, I'm giving this land to Israel. You're going to die as your brother Aaron did. And that was in Numbers chapter 20 on Mount Hor. And God tells Moses the two reasons why he's not going to get to go to Canaan. Again, just like he did last time in Numbers chapter 27. He says, 1, you broke your faith with me among the Israelites at the waters of Meribah. That was Numbers chapter 20, when God told Moses to get water for the Israelites. You needed to speak to the rock, not hit it. He hit the rock, and even though he got water, that was an act of disobedience that God decided after that act of disobedience that Moses would not enter the land of Canaan. God says the second reason why he won't be going into Canaan, because you did not treat me as holy while you were living among Israel. You can see the land, but you won't go there. So that is the summary that I have for Deuteronomy chapter 32. There are a few more things. I also think that I know that once I made the video about Moses and the discrepancies, why Moses, why the video is about the discrepancies that led to Moses being refused from entering into Canaan, because he wasn't completely honest. He didn't do everything the way that God told him to. And so even when we think about how he became leader, he started out murdering an Egyptian, and he fled the country so he wouldn't have to get justice, or, justice would not be taken against him for murdering someone. And so if you go and look at that video, you'll see that there are several times where God did not tell him to act a certain way, but he did. He manipulated information a little bit. And so by the time Numbers chapter 20 happens, God just says, look, you can't come to Canaan either. And then when we look at Deuteronomy 23, you see that he's not telling the whole truth to the second generation of Israel. And they have no way of verifying what happened in the last few chapters, because they were either too young or they weren't conceived yet. So after all that, the last chapter, God tells him, hey, don't worry about it, because Israel is going to disobey and they're going to go right back to worshiping. They're going to go right back to idol worship once you die. So he writes this song, and he gives this song to them as one of the last acts before he's called to heaven. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. I love you. Have a wonderful day.